What up, what up, what up, New York Giant Nation and football fans all over the world. It is your boy, Mac the Giants fan. I got my guy, the super dope co-host, Adam Costas with me. You already know what time it is. It's time for the real deal NFC East Round-Up. Punch that intro. What's good? What's good? What's going on out there, everybody? Welcome to another edition of season premiere of the Real Deal NFC East Roundup with myself and Adam Costas. Today we got a special guest with us, my guy AK, Eagles Uncensored, founder of the Hardcore Sports Network. Got another guest that should be joining us. He's running a little bit late. My guy Tone from PSN Commanders Network. So hopefully he'll get here shortly. But for right now, we can just go around, what's up? How you guys feeling today? AK, man, how you doing, brother?
No, not doing bad, man. Not doing bad. How you doing, man?
Great, man. Great, man. Feeling blessed. Feeling
Yes,
blessed,
sir.
man.
Every day.
What's going on with you, Adam?
I am good today, but I have a special guest with me that's going to be joining the show soon. So without further ado, let me introduce our special guest. Hey, give me the mic. It's me, ladies and gentlemen. It is me. It is me. It is me. Jared Jones is here to represent the Cowboys. I am here, ladies and gentlemen. I am here. I know you've been waiting all year to hear my voice, so here I am today. Yes, Dak Prescott is the best quarterback. I'm going to start off with that right now. So how are y'all doing today? This is the NFC Real Deal Roundup. Well, it's Real Deal tonight because you got Jerry Jones. You're welcome.
As y'all see, man, Adam putting on a cowboy hat for just for the day, not literally, just figuratively,
Who the hell is Adam? I'm Jerry.
That is my guy. We here right now. We all here. We gonna sit here. We gonna just, get y'all ready for training camp, the preview and a little bit of training camp expectations, what things we want to see, all that good stuff. Football season is upon us, y'all, man. I am ready. You can smell it in the air, man. Got some guys in camp today, practice out there. Oh, man, it feels so good, man. No, we right there ready. It's almost there, man. Almost ready to get them pads clicking again, man. Whew, how y'all feel about the start of training camp, man?
Well, I love it, man. It gives us a reason to be on here. It gives us something more to talk about than nothing at all when these guys are on break. And, all the assumptions are over, and it's all about just, who's going to make the team at this point, which most of us know what our final roster is going to look like. So, I'm just really excited to see these guys get back to work and get on the week one, man, because I'm ready for football to start again.
Well, I love training camp every year. I was just on my yacht, but I had to do the media appearances and all that stuff. Love seeing my facility. It's such a beautiful facility. Come out here and smell that Texas air right here. It smells so good. It smells so good. It smells like winning. That's what it smells like. That's what you guys need to get on. Winning. Because none of you guys are winning like us. We're the Dallas Cowboys, and we're ready to go. We're ready to march for that Lombardi. You're going to be kissing our asses at the end of this. That's right. I'm Jerry Jones.
Word. Good stuff. Good stuff, Mr. Jones. Good stuff, Mr. Jones. But with that all being said, let's go ahead and get right into it, fellas. I'll start with you, Mr. Jones. Why not? Start with you right at the top, Mr. Jones, man. It's an honor to have you here with us today, too. I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me.
What position battle are you looking forward to most in Cowboy camp?
Well, one of them I'm looking forward to the most is with our third or fourth receiver, Semi Fihoko versus Jalen Tolbert. Now, everybody knows Jalen Tolbert. We drafted him last year, as well as Fico. Both pretty good receivers, both big-bodied guys. I know we got Brandon Cooks and everything like that, but you're going to need 4 in this division. We want to spread it around. We want to spread it like butter, peanut butter. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to spread it around. So I'm looking for Jalen Tolbert to take a big step up. He was a 3rd-round pick a year ago, so I really want to see big things from him. So that's one of the camp battles I'm really looking forward to.
Absolutely, man. How about you, AK? What positional battles you looking forward the most to seeing?
Spread it around like peanut butter, huh? Oh shit. No, in all honesty, man, safety for me. Offensively, I see no issues whatsoever. Same offense is coming back, same talent. Yeah, we lost Hargrave in the middle there on defense, but we got a bright future star in Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis in his 2nd year, and we brought back Fletcher Cox on a 1-year deal, so that'll give them the veteran presence there in the middle to learn from. It's nothing but up for them, man. But I am definitely interested to see that safety position, between Edmonds and Blankenship and Sidney Brown. I'm got really high hopes for Sidney, so we'll see what happens, man. But definitely want to see these guys make an impact sooner rather than later.
Good stuff. I mean, as for me, as a New York Giant guy here, man, I mean, it might not be the sexiest, choice here, but I want to see who's going to step up and seize that moment and get that starting left guard spot. I'm curious who's going to step in that interior offensive line. I mean, pretty much 4 to 5 offensive line positions. We pretty much kind of, I think it's safe to say we know who the starters are going to be at 4 of the 5 positions. But that left guard spot is wide open, man, and it's trying to see who's going to step in and seize the moment there at that position, man. So I'm really excited to see. Is it going to be Bredesen, who didn't really have that bad a year? He just got banged up and it kind of slowed his momentum down. And or Joshua Zudu, the young draft pick from a year ago, if he can step back in and maybe take that spot. I mean, Shane Lemieux, he's still in the mix. I'm not honestly a big believer in Shane Lemieux anymore at this point. I've kind of all but given up on that kid. At this point, he's just availability is your best ability, and that kid is never available, man. So, but I'm just curious who's going to step up next to our now extended long-term, to a long-term deal with Andrew Thomas earlier today. Who's going to step into that left guard spot next to him, man, and hold it down on that left side of the offensive line with Andrew Thomas? So I'm really curious to see, man. That's going to be something I'll be looking for. Me, myself, as a former lineman myself, I kind of enjoy those battles anyway. To me, it's fun to watch the big guys in the trenches, man. So I can't wait for them to get the pads on it and see who can seize the moment.
Well, with Joe Shane extending those guys, seems like you got some competent people in the office this year. Unlike Dave Gettleman, who probably wouldn't have extended him to this. I don't want to see Andrew Thomas because I know how many fits he gives my defense. So, no thank you, Joe Shane. No thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you for that opinion, Mr. Jones. What's going on, Mr. Seth Messersmith 4? I'm sorry if I messed your name up. Appreciate you stopping through, brother.
Another Eagle fan.
Go Eagles, huh? Well, I mean, right now y'all the top cream of the crop right now. Y'all can't even front.
Hey, you need to hold that. You need to bite your tongue right now. You need to bite your tongue, young man. Okay, you don't understand who you're talking to right now. I'm Jared Jones. I have the America's team. The Philadelphia's not America's team. They might have had the Liberty Bell, but they don't have the Cowboys star on their helmet.
Hey, just so you know, you guys were not offered America's team first. Pittsburgh Steelers were actually offered it first, but they turned it down.
So that's their problem.
Have fun with runner-ups, because that's all you are, man, for the last 27 years and counting, runner-ups.
So you talk to me like that.
Sit down, old man.
For what it's worth, though. For what it's worth.
I don't give a fuck.
For what it's worth, Mr. Jones, we gotta have a little respect though for the Eagles, man. I mean, right now the Eagles are the cream of the crop right now until somebody else proves otherwise. Mr. Jones. So I mean, it is what it is, sir. I mean, your opinion is welcome here, but can't knock the hustle, man. The
You're gonna
Eagles
find
been
out
been
this year.
they've been holding it down, man. I mean, the Cowboys, y'all been saying for every last 30 years what y'all gonna do, and you never
Wait,
seen it get it done. I'm sorry, man, but this
I
just
love this
how it is,
tradition.
man. Y'all,
We won it 2 years ago. Okay, we won it 2 years ago, 2021, and now it's 2023, and we're gonna win it again. We went on the odd years, you went on the even years. Okay, so it is our year to win.
Not while we got Justin Herbert, it ain't.
I mean, look, I don't know how it's gonna go down, man. But right now, as of right now, how things stand, the Eagles at the top of the mountains, man. The Cowboys is, y'all might be a little close, but I don't know. Not quite sure. I honestly not even sure if y'all ready for us this year.
Oh
That's just
my
how I
God!
feel
Oh
about
my
it. That's just
God!
how I
I
feel
agree
about it,
to
brother.
disagree. Let's move on to the Commanders, okay? Because we can all agree that team is terrible. I can't believe I'm coming on this show. I can't believe Adam, why'd you put me on this show? You told me I wasn't going to get insulted.
Yeah, I mean, my Commanders guy is running late or may not be able to make it. I'm not sure what's going on, but I didn't really do any research. I don't know what they got going on, honestly, in their training camp, so I can't really speak much on them because I figured he was going to be on here to answer all those questions.
I wouldn't show
Unfortunately,
up.
he's so I don't know what they
I'm
got
looking
really
forward to
going on in
crushing that
Commander camp.
quarterback, Sam Howell. That's what I'm looking forward to. Micah Parsons, I'm going to put a little check in his locker. If he sacks Sam Howell 4 times in the first game, really take him out. You know what I'm saying? Like Cowboy style. Hey, don't let you know. But if you see Micah Parsons with an extra bling, you'll know why.
But is there like any individual player for say that you're looking forward to maybe seeing, in
How about
training camp, see him show up and show out?
not seeing? I do not want to see Chase Young ball out because I know how good he is. And if he gets good, we're screwed. Even though my offensive line, I do believe, is the best in the league, I'm not worried about me per se. I'm worried about you, Mr. Mack, because they're going to be coming after your quarterback all day, every day. Chase Young, that's who I don't want to see.
What's going on, Derpy Entertainment, man? He says the Cowboys don't show up when it matters. You'll choke again. Your quarterback and coaching always f's it up recently, and defense never shows up when it matters. I tend to agree with that comment.
How
I
dare
tend
you,
to agree
Derpy?
with that comment.
Do you
That
know
seems to
I'm
be the
very
story of the Dallas Cowboys, man. What's going on, Nep, man? How was San Diego Comic Con, man? Welcome back, brother. It's my homie
listen,
Neppa, Steve Neppa, man.
listen. And I like him already because he doesn't have any loyalty to a team right now. But this Derpy, listen, we are going to the Super Bowl this year. We got rid of Kellen Moore. Okay, he was the problem. Okay, now don't worry about my fat ass coach. Okay, don't you worry about him. I'm going to massage his feet, and he'll be going. We'll be going to the Super Bowl. That's how it happened last time in Green Bay. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back. Thursdays are feet days for Mike McCarthy. No, but seriously, I think he's going to call a great game for Dak Prescott. I think there's going to be evolution because if you go back to 2020, I know you guys don't want to go back that far. You Giant fans and all because you guys are terrible. But here, you go back in 2020, in the first 5 games, Mike McCarthy was the play caller. Dak Prescott was on a record-setting pace till, of course, he broke his ankle to your dirty player, Logan Ryan. But that's all. I think Mike McCarthy is going to bring back and rejuvenate this offense. You're going to see. We're going to be top offense. It's not going to be turnover Dak this year. It's going to be precision Dak. We're going to be representing in the NFC Championship game. Mark my words.
We can see. We'll see. We'll see about that. AK, man. Anybody over there in Philadelphia Eagle training camp, like specific player that you're looking forward to kind of seeing what they got going on, man?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'll give you one in particular. You know, we've already dubbed him Agent Zero because that's what number he's wearing, and that's Swift, man. You know, I got a lot of hope for Swift. I think Swift is a very, very talented halfback. He might be on the level of Miles Sanders, maybe just a little bit better. Um, I expect a big year from Swift, dude. He's coming in. He looks good. He's fast. He's quick. He's healthy. So I can't wait to see him and Penny, man. But definitely Swift.
Well, as for myself, man, as the New York Giant guy here, I would like to once again, I'm going back to the big guys, man. I want to see our rookie from a year ago, man. Year two for him now, Evan Neal. I want to see if he's ready to take that next step and become a solid right tackle in this league, man. We got left if he can become solid, become good at right tackle, man. Then look, I'm good. I'll be. We have bookend offensive tackles because Andrew Thomas, we already know what he is. He's ready to take that next step this year and probably become. I think honestly, and I'm not being biased when I say this. I'm keeping it all the way a buck. You can call me biased if you want to. Andrew Thomas, I think by the end of this year will become the absolute best tackle in football. I just think he's ready to ascend to that next level. He got paid today. I think he's coming. He's going to be coming into camp ready to go. And I think he's just going to take that next step, honestly. I know it's a lot of good tackles out there, but he's absolutely one of the best already right now. And I think he's going to take that next step and become the absolute unquestionable best before it's all said and done this year. But if Evan Neal can get it together on the right side, we know the struggles he had last year, especially with speed edge rushers. As an Eagle fan, AK, you know what Hassan Reddick and company were doing to him. And Mr. Jones, you definitely know what the Dallas Cowboys D line was doing to him, especially Mr. What the hell, I can't even remember who it was now last year that was just tearing his ass up on Monday Night Football for like 3 sacks. But so I'm ready to see if Evan Neal can take that next step. He's been working with a specialist this offseason, trying to get that footwork better. I mean, the kid's already a solid run blocker, so he's already pretty much a road grader, at least in that department. So see if he can take that next step and become a better and can protect that right side from edge rushers. This offensive line can finally maybe start to really truly grow and hopefully things can start looking up for the New York Giants. So I'm keeping my eye really close on Evan Neal, man.
Don't you worry about that. DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons will take care of that. But for me, Jared Jones, I want to check out my new draft pick, my defensive tackle, Mozzie Smith. I want to see how his movement skills going to be because last year I feel like we had a little bit of trouble stopping the run, and I think he's going to help that out. Him and Jonathan Hankins are going to be really solid in the middle. Keep those interior linemen off my precious prize, Micah Parsons, because when that guy is healthy and running around, oh boy, watch out. He's like a Corvette coming down the freeway at 150 miles an hour. Man, I can't wait to see it. Mozzie Smith, hopefully he does well. Obviously, he's 26th in the draft. I know a lot of people said we reached for him, but hey, if you look at our track record with D tackles and big guys, I think you'll bet on us right now.
Good stuff. I mean, like I said, we don't have no Washington guy here right now, but if I were a Commander fan, I'd be really wanting to keep a close eye on Mr. Chase Young, man, because coming off that knee injury, obviously was pretty much all but ineffective last year in the time that he did get on the field. So we'll see if he can make that next step and get back to that level in which he was looking like he was headed before the injury, man. So that's who I would keep my eye on. Myself personally, if I was a Washington guy. And but as for that, man, you saw AK start with you here, brother. Which positional group do you think has the most to prove on your Philadelphia Eagles roster?
Good question. I would have to say linebackers, man. Nakobe Dean is going into his second year. They gave him the green cap, which means he's going to be calling the plays, which is a very crucial part to our defense. So, I'm very interested to see how that plays out and see how he can handle them situations. I know a lot of people have a lot of high hopes for us, and so do I, but these things are very crucial pieces to that success, and Nakobe Dean has to be everything that we think he is. So, it's definitely linebacker for me, man.
How about you, Mr. Jones? Positional group do you think on the Dallas Cowboys has the most to prove heading into training camp?
Well, being that's my team, nothing, we don't have anything to prove. But if you must know what we have to do, I'm going to work about the linebacker situation because, we got Van Der Esch and we have, our other middle linebacker, I forget his name, I think of Damian Clark. He's cemented as a starter. But let's see what like a guy like Jabril Cox can bring to the table. We really need, Damone Clark is out there. We need Jabril Cox to step up. Let's see what he can bring to the table. We already know what Micah's going to do. We know what Micah is going to do. I cannot wait, and I can't wait to see what our front seven does. They have a lot to prove. They were top 5 in the league last year. Let's see if they can be top 5 again. And, of course, I have to look at number 4 because obviously people don't like resume around here because if you look at his resume, he's done pretty well. But if you must know, I'm going to look at him and hopefully see how his thumb is healed up from last year. And let's rock and roll, baby. We'll see you on 9/11.
I mean, yeah. All right, man, Mr. Jones. Thank you, Mr. Jones, for that. But New York Giants, man, I'm looking forward to seeing them wide receivers, man, show up, man. Looking forward to seeing these guys. There's a lot of them in camp. A lot of garage, crowded room. Going to have some tough cuts, man, this year. Like New York Giants last year, I think when they started cutting players last year. Yeah, nobody wanted any of the guys we were cutting. I mean, it was absolutely just, no calls were being made to those guys. Once they were released from after our training camp, they got cut. They pretty much went back to bagging groceries or whatever else they were doing with their life because they weren't playing in the NFL anymore. Nobody seemed to want those guys. That's not going to be the case this year. That is not going to be the case this year. It's going to be players getting cut that teams are going to be having some interest in. And, I mean, this Giants wide receiver room got more crowd the other day with the signing of Cole Beasley, obviously, but also brought on board was Paris Campbell this offseason. They re-signed Isaiah Hodgson, drafted Jalen Hyatt. I mean, Colin Johnson back from injury, David Sills back. I mean, this is a crowded room. Darius Slayton's still here. Jamison Crowder, I mean, it's just a lot of guys in that room. Once again, and honestly, none of them necessarily are standout number 1 guys either. So that's what else makes this interesting. I mean, get Sterling Shepard will probably start the season off on PUP, probably, and same with Wan'Dale Robinson also be on PUP, probably start the season off. But the thing is, this is like I said, it's going to be a big, heavy competition at the wide receiver and with the wide receivers at training camp, man. And they got to prove something, man. Last year, New York Giant wide receivers just had trouble creating separation, getting open. And it was most throws had to be tight window throws, man. So hopefully we can get some more explosion, add a lot of speed to that wide receiver room going in training camp. So it's going to be an interesting to watch. And they do have a lot to prove, man. They got to prove because, like I said, we're not like a situation like the Cincinnati Bengals or the Philadelphia Eagles where we got like 2 stud wide receivers. So it's like, let's go. You know what I mean? We got a bunch of just pretty, average guys. None of them are like all pros. None of them are future Hall of Famers.
Did you say studs?
None of them are household names. You know what I mean? So got a lot to prove. That wide receivers definitely got a lot to prove. So I'll be looking forward to that, man, and seeing if these guys can get it done and give Daniel Jones a few easier throws to make. Let's just see if that can happen. Let's see. So
easy throws are the only ones he makes. Anywho, you know what my problem is? You know what my problem is? Cole Beasley. That little bastard is on your team right now. After all I've done for him, after all we've done for him, bringing him into the league, making him a household name, he's going to sign with you guys. Well, you know what, Cole Beasley? I hope we don't see you on 9/11. Hope you don't make the team. Sorry.
You haven't done shit. You didn't win him nothing.
Excuse me? We made him a household name.
Household name, yeah, of what? Just being average?
Oh, I'm sorry. If he were on the Eagles, he'd probably be working for the trash compactor company right now. That's what he would be doing.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, he'd be working for your DPW, whatever you got out there in Philadelphia, coming over here talking smack to Jerry Jones about not helping.
Well, hey, I'm sorry if Cole Beasley was a household name for y'all, then you're doing something wrong.
I forgot he even played for the Cowboys. I totally forgot that he played for the Cowboys.
Hey, that's your problem right there is you don't know. We brought him in and gave him the dough, and now he's on the other side. He was about to retire. You guys got a guy who was about to retire. Guy was sitting on his couch doing nothing, and you called him up. Good luck with that.
Well. Good stuff. Well, the draft was in April, fellas. The draft was this past April, man. And which rookie do you expect to come in and have an immediate impact for your football team? Start with you, Mr. Jones.
You would start with me. I had a drink in my mouth. That's why I couldn't get to the microphone.
It's not all
But
you had. Oh.
are you talking? Excuse me. Are you talking to me? I'm not. Listen, Mr. Costas. Can I talk to you real quick? I'm getting so disrespected on this damn stream. I came on here doing you a favor, and now you're going to come on here and have that little Eagle fan down below, uncensored. What does that even mean? Uncensored. Okay. Anywho, the guy that I'm looking forward to, the real guy I'm looking forward to. I'm going to go back with Monty Smith because I really want to see him come in here and just dominate the middle. Dominate the middle. Okay. You guys over here talking this hubbub.
That's interesting because that you got a lot of flack for that pick, Mr. Jones, when you made that selection back in April. A lot of people were, questioning your decision to get a guy that most experts said they could have gotten the second round. I mean, how do you feel about that?
First of all, I'll say a few things about that. Okay, first off, when you're drafting as low as we were, everybody's a second round pick. Okay, that's first off. Second off, you guys drafted a guy by the name of Dexter Lawrence, number 17. What is he there for? He's there to stop the run. Well, we feel a need with this pick. And last year, you guys laughed at us when we took the Smith kid, Tyson Smith out of Tulsa. Isn't that correct? Everybody laughed at us when we took Tyler Smith. Yeah, well, guess what? Tyler Smith went on to have a great year last year. Okay, so maybe you just need to sit back, relax. He was an all-rookie last year. Okay, he made the rookie team. And he played all 17 games. I can't fault for that. That's a starter when we got him. So Monty Smith, sit back and relax and enjoy us. Our scouting department's got this one. He's in there to stop the run, come out on third downs, make it nice and third and long so you can't run up the gut on us. And then our linebackers can come clean up the mess. Remember, we still got Dante Fowler and DeMarcus Lawrence and Jonathan Hankins on that line. So we need Monty Smith to come in there and make some tackles and clog up the middle and free up those guys and get them one-on-one. He doesn't need to have the sack numbers that you guys are looking for. All he needs to do is occupy the guards and let Micah Parsons roam free.
Well, how about you, AK? What rookie you think you looking forward to? Think is going to have the most come in and have the most impact immediately?
I'm going to say Nolan Smith, man. How the heck we got him that late in the draft is beyond me. Shame on y'all for letting that shit happen, all 31 of you.
Not my fault to try to call back into the draft again, but we ran out of picks.
Yeah. Always excuses. But it is what it is. Huh?
You're very mean to me, but continue your point.
But no, in all honesty, man, Nolan Smith is going to be a Von Miller-esque type player. He's very, very fast. He runs a 4.4. He's not. I think he's only 250, so he's not big, but he's very quick. He's got a nice bend. He's going to be another Hassan Riddick coming off the edge, and having BG right there next to him, teaching him. This kid's going to be a stud, dude. I'm not worried about Carter. We all know what Carter is, so I think Nolan Smith is going to surprise people, man, and he might end up. I don't know. I have a crazy hot take. I think he might actually break the rookie sack record, in all honesty.
Woo.
Well, that's 14. I doubt that's going to happen.
We'll see. When you got a good defensive line around him like he has, bro, it takes a lot of attention off him.
He's got all his old college teammates around him.
Yep.
Okay, do we know who broke the rookie sack record a few years ago? Do we know who did that? I think it was the Freak, okay? They gave the man a nickname called the Freak. His name was Javon.
Oh, Javon Curse. Yeah.
14 and a half sacks. Okay, he came in as a first-round pick. Your guy, no offense to you, Mr. AK, Mr. Uncensored, he's a fourth-round pick. Okay, so if you expect me to believe that a 4th-round pick is going to come in here and just blow the league up, you got to
Hey,
go.
what are you talking about? Smith is not a 4th round; he's a 1st.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got him late. I'm thinking of the other Georgia linebacker.
And that's the thing. How we took him that late is crazy. He was a top 15 pick, easy.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if he breaks the sack record.
I was there for it. It was terrible that y'all actually got Jalen Carter and then got Nolan Smith.
I could have got on my yacht.
Like y'all, there's 31 teams that should be ashamed. I don't know how the hell that happened. I don't know. I mean, I get it. They all got some nice players, but how the hell you let him fall that far to us? Like, that's just criminal, dog.
I mean, that was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. I tell you what, every Eagle fan was absolutely psyched that night.
I think I got to go talk to my personnel department.
But I mean, as for me, you guys should know exactly where I'm going with this. I would think I'm going right to our 2nd-round draft pick, Mr. John Michael Smith, bringing some legitimacy to the center position for the New York Football Giants, man. I think he's going to come in and it's going to make a difference on that O-line. The center is such an underrated position, in my opinion. They're the captain of the offensive line, basically. They're looking out there, pretty much making all the calls. Everything predicates on a competent center. And last year, Feliciano, he's not a natural center, man. He kind of was just a plug-in center there, a guy Giants plugged in. And he might have been a bit of a mauler, got that little nasty attitude you like. But at the same time, if it's not what you do, it's not what you do. Center has to have pretty much the highest IQ on the offensive line as well. You have to have a really good football acumen. And I think John Michael Schmitz is going to come in and it's going to make a difference on this offensive line. And you're going to see it immediately. And I think this kid has a potential to be at the very least a Pro Bowl caliber center. As a rookie this season, I think he's going to have that kind of impact. I was ecstatic when he made this pick, the 2nd-round pick back in April. Man, it was a great pick. I'm so glad he fell to us, and I think it's going to work out for the New York Giants. Right now, him and Daniel Jones have been developing a really good rapport. He's already like his mindset is already seems to be pro ready, and he just looks like he's ready for the big lights, the bright lights in New York City, man. So I think. He'll have that immediate impact. I know a lot of people could have might have went on to go with Deontay Branch there, but I think coming in as a cornerback, everybody's not Sauce Gardner, man. Everybody's not going to just come in and have that instant success at that position. He's going to take his lumps, go through his growing pains a little bit. But I think John Michael Smith is going to come in and have an absolute immediate impact for the New York Football Giants, man. And I'm excited to see that as a big guy. I want to see this offensive line become credible again. I mean, they don't have to be as good as the Eagles O-line, but goddamn, at least be competent. I haven't seen in this New York Giant offensive line be competent in a very, very long time. So definitely looking forward to that, man.
Michael Schmidt's not related to John Jingleheimer Schmidt, right, from the Barney song. I
don't think so.
I know that because that's what he reminds me of right now. I know you guys drafted him in the 2nd round. You think he's going to be all world and everything. But really, he just reminds me of that song. Pretty lame, if you ask me. And I don't know if the Giants' offensive line is going to be that good. Coming out the gate, you guys are underestimating our dogs coming up front. And I know Eagles Uncensored, his defense is, while he's taking a hit, I would not trust a rookie center. I mean, unless his name was Tyler Badaz, and you had 2 established guards next to him. Right now, you don't. So I would be a little worried if I'm Daniel Jones, just to hopefully this guy gets his learning curve up. But hey, not on 9/11 though. He can learn after that.
Mr. Jones, I think you need to worry about your own offensive lineman and Zach Martin and figure out a way to get his ass into training camp.
Don't you worry about my guy. Don't you worry about my guy. I already know that. Don't you think I know that? He's listening right now. Zach, hey, Zach, how you doing, man? We're going to give you all the money you need, all right? Don't worry about that. Don't let these fans tell you nothing. He's going to be there to kick your ass. Whoop your booty on 9/11. Sorry, I don't want to curse on your show. I'm a guest and all.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see about that. Man. He seems pretty content with this holdout right now. So I mean,
yes, it's training camp. If he really
maybe he just doesn't want to practice. Maybe he just doesn't feel like practicing right now.
I'm Jerry Jones. I just paid my cornerback. You don't think I can pay my damn guard? Give me a break. All right. I know that's your line over here. That's what Adam told me. I had to give me a break line. Well, give me a break. Okay. I'm over here in Texas. I know what's going on. Me and Martin, we're real cool. Okay. All you need to worry about is he's going to be there on 9/11. That's all you need to worry about. So I would not be practicing on Giants camp without him being there, because guess what? He's going to be there 9/11.
Feeling pretty confident over there, man. Feeling pretty confident, Mr. Jones, man. We'll see about it,
what
man.
What is he going to do? Sit on his couch and eat dum-dums? I don't think so. He's got winning to do, okay? We've got a crown, an NFC conference crown that we're trying to capture, okay? So he's going to come there. Don't you worry. I got a buffet line. I got anything ready for him. Anything he wants, you got. I'm Jerry Jones. I make it happen. I'm sitting on my yacht right now.
Can't do that with an average quarterback.
Average quarterback? Are you talking about me or the New York Giants? Okay, because
hey, Mr. Jones, your quarterback is one the same thing my quarterback is one, not a goddamn thing, you know. So
neither quarterback's won a goddamn thing either. I mean, Jalen Hurts fumbled away his chances in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, and then complained about a holding call 3 weeks later.
At least my quarterback had a championship. What's yours got?
Oh, my God, an AFC title? That's like winning nothing. That's like winning a participation award.
Years. You haven't. Yours hasn't done it in 7.
Oh, please.
Oh, fellas. Keep it together over there. Keep it together, man.
2.0.
Hey, could you sit down? Mac's trying to mediate here. If you'd like to talk, put it in the suggestion box, okay?
You guys, man. Loving it, man. All right, fellas. Now, based off of the off-season moves your team's made, man, where do you expect to see the most improvement? AK, you can start this one off.
I don't see any improvements, man. I seriously don't. Listen, our offense stayed the same. Nothing's changed. If anything, we've added more pieces to it with Swift and Penny. Dan Arnold as tight end too. You know, I don't know exactly how to pronounce that dude from Atlanta's name, the Z one.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it, so I ain't even going to try. But, you know, he's some good competition for Watkins. So, you know, I really feel that Watkins is slept on. You know, I know a lot of people give him a hard time because of the 2 mistakes he made. But you know what? He only got 44 catches last year. But out of those 44 catches, the kid did some really good things, man. He had some nice sideline catches. He had some nice touchdowns. So, you know, it's kind of hard to get the ball when your top 3 is AJ, Smitty, and Goddard. You know what I'm saying? So he's kind of the last resort, and I think he did his job very well. It's just people hold our team to a higher standard, and I understand that, and I agree with it. But the kid is a way better number 3 than Nelson Aguilar would have been, or Jalen Reagor, so I'm not going to complain. But, yeah, man, I don't really see a decrease in anything. I mean, Jalen Carter, yeah, he's going to have some rookie slumps here and there. But in all honesty, man, the kid's going to be a stud. Nolan Smith is going to be a stud. You know, I really believe that Nakobe Dean is going to be a stud, and same with Sydney. So we'll see, man. If there's a fall off, it's only maybe 1 or 2 games. Not even, you know, it's not going to be bad at all.
Well, fans, there you have it. AK Eagles Uncensored is feeling very confident about the Philadelphia Eagles. And, I mean, I guess he has a right to. I mean, this team pretty much was a dominant force in not only the NFC East, but in the NFC conference as a whole last year. So he feels like they don't need no improvement. They just need to come out and do the same damn thing they did last year to keep steamrolling people, I guess. We'll see how that works out for you, brother.
What did we have? 82 sacks all combined last year? I mean, these guys come out and just get 60. That's still amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't need to get 70-plus sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like
I wouldn't bang on it happening again either. But
yeah, but they outdid themselves last year. You know what I'm saying? So even if they take a step back sack wise, it still ain't that bad because they well overachieved that record last year. That was insane what they were doing.
it was quite impressive, I must say. It was quite impressive. How do you feel about that, Mr. Jones?
Well, I think we're going to challenge for the sack record this year. But hey, that was an anomaly last year. Good luck with the Eagles doing that again. I do think the Eagles kind of stayed par for the course, so to speak. I know they lost a few guys here and there, but they had their replacements already on the roster. So I think that's where they're going to go. But as for my team, the two guys I'm looking forward to seeing may put a thorn in your guys' sides. The first one is Stephon Gilmore. I think we've improved in the secondary while bringing him in last year. While we did have Diggs last year, now we have another valuable corner. Like somebody mentioned, two corners in the top 100. We're doing something good. That'll allow our pass rush and Micah Parsons to really get home this year.
Stop.
I'm just letting you know. Stephon
No,
Gilmore.
no, no. You can't take credit for. No, listen. I even gave a real Cowboy fan this shit, bro, and I'm going to give it to you as well. I'm telling you right now, you can't take credit for two corners. He did not play on your team last year. Therefore, you can't take credit. If he gets on the top 100 this year with Diggs coming up,
Well,
then
being that he's on a resume and he's in the top 100, okay, he's on my team. So, yes, he's in the top 100. He may not have played on our team, but he still got there, and now he's on my team. So if he plays half as good as he did with Indianapolis, which I doubt, I think he's going to play even better here because he's got a better defense around him and a chance to win, okay? Not with that loser franchise over in Indianapolis over there, okay? We acquired him. So if you let me finish my piece, you had your piece about your team. This is my team. So as I was saying, two corners in the top 100 will bring up the pass rush. We're going to probably challenge for your 70 sack record this year. I think the Cowboys will be up there. We had a top 5 defense with Mozzie Smith coming in there and Stephon Gilmore. I think we've improved the secondary exponentially with one move. Our team was good last year, but I think a lot of things that happened was our run game was a little weak in stopping the run, and our pass game was our pass defense was sporadic here. Now I know we lost Donovan Wilson with a calf strain right now. It's early in camp. Let's get him ready for 9/11, but I feel very improved there. The other guy I'd like to talk about is a guy we traded for, Mr. Brandon Cooks. He likes to cook up defenses all over the place. 6 out of 7 years with 1,000 yards. I think he's going to bounce back with an actual competent quarterback. I know you guys hate him, but Dak Prescott, well, you may not like him. I love the guy. He's on all my yogurt commercials. He sells yogurt here in the area. We love him, but I think Brandon Cooks is really going to help out this offense, because I think you're going to have 5 guys on the field who can score. 5 guys who can score. We got Jake Ferguson. We're going to have Michael Gallup. We're going to have CeeDee Lamb, who Mac, I heard last year, didn't think was the number 1. I think he reconsidered that last year. I know Adam's been letting me in on some things, but CeeDee Lamb, our number 1, and Brandon Cooks, and then Tony Pollard. Let's not forget him. 5 guys that can take it to the house on any given play. I really do like our offense. I like those 2 guys, and I hope that helps you understand how our team is going to flow this year.
I mean, Mr. Jones, I can respect that, Mr. Jones, and you're right. I questioned the CeeDee Lamb's, to see if he would really be truly that number 1 guy, and he proved me wrong. So got no problem, tipping the hat to him. He got the job done. He's a legit number 1 guy, and I can admit that. But some will say at your cornerback that you just paid yesterday, Mr. Trayvon Diggs. Some people say he's more opportunistic than actually really, really good. I mean, he gets burned for a lot of big plays as well. So how do y'all feel about that narrative on your top cornerback?
I think with a guy like Stephon Gilmore, it's going to allow for more opportunities. Remember, Xavier Diggs. He runs a 4.4. He's a pretty fast guy, 6'1", 200 pounds, and sometimes he makes a risk. I know that you guys talk about him giving up big plays, but he also makes big plays himself. Did he get 11 interceptions? No. But do I think his interceptions will go up from 3 this year since last year? Because remember the year before he had 11. Right now he had 3. I think he's going to get at least 5 and a touchdown. I think bringing in a guy like Gilmore allows this guy to have more flexibility, and with Donovan Wilson being there and a couple more of our draft picks, we do have Malik Hooker, we have C.J. Goodwin, and a couple other guys who can come in and help out. I think we're on the right track. I think he's a top corner. I think he deserves to be there. I think he's playing well, and hell, I wouldn't have paid him if he stunk.
I mean, okay. That's how you defend your guy, I suppose. We'll see. We'll see. He's going to be tested this year when he gets them New York Giant wide receivers with all that speed. They might not be all the flashy names. They might not be the flashy names, but we got a lot of speed out there. We're going to be throwing your way. You'll find out week one.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. I almost spit my drink up. So let me get this straight. I just named Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and Brandon Cooks. And you named who? Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton, and some other guy named Paris Campbell, who haven't done a damn thing. And my corners are supposed to be worried about that. Listen, you want to tell me and sell me on Darren Waller? Listen, that man's good. But these other three guys have yet to prove anything other than Darius likes to drop footballs. Jalen Hyatt, we don't even know can get off press coverage. And Paris Campbell, well, he had a good season. Let's hope he does well. He gives me a little agita, but I take my three receivers any day and twice on Sunday on a biscuit before I take your team.
I mean, if you're putting it that way, I mean, I can see where you're going with that. But at the end of the day, speed is still speed, and that's going to be a lot of speed to cover
Brandon
on the
Cooks
field when you're playing in New York
Last
Giants.
time I checked, he ran a 4.3 at the combine. I know he's a little older, but he's still got the quicks.
Brandon Cook's been around for a while. I mean, he's a name you know. We already know about Brandon Cooks. We've dealt with Brandon Cooks before.
I know you like the players on your team because it's like opening shiny new toys on Christmas Day. Listen to me, and listen to me good. Okay, Brandon Cooks doesn't do what he does from being a slowpoke. Okay, he's adding an extra dimension to our offense that we haven't seen because CeeDee Lamb is fast, but he's not Brandon Cooks fast. Okay, Jalen Tolbert, who's pretty good himself, he's got some speed as well. And then you've got Michael Gallup, who's our possession receiver. You've got three guys you've named that haven't even done a damn thing in the NFL. No punning, no fault of their own. I mean, their quarterback was throwing them the football, so I cannot blame them just for that. I know they were getting open. I mean, listen, Darius Slayton, I watched your playoff game last year. Your quarterback had you on a streak route, and he had the slow Brandon James Bradbury behind him. James Bradbury runs a 4.5. Last I checked, Darius Slayton runs a 4.4. He was gassed to go, and your quarterback underthrew him. So I can't blame Darius Slayton. Also, he does have some drop issues. But listen, all kidding aside, I'd love to see the matchup. You guys keep talking and keep pouting yourself. We can't wait to see Jalen Hyatt, and hopefully he gets off press coverage. But he ain't beating no Diggs out there. I'm sorry.
Guess what? Not only is he going to week one, Sunday Night Football, MetLife Stadium, Jalen Hyatt is going to score his first career NFL touchdown against the Dallas Cowboys. Gonna catch one right in Jalen Hyatt's, right in Trayvon Diggs' face. Gonna just grab it.
As long as we're winning the game, I don't care. You can score your touchdown as long as we get the W out in MetLife Stadium. It doesn't matter what he does. Okay.
Well, all right. That's another. We'll see. It's gonna be going down week one. We'll see, Mr. Jones. But as for the Giants, man, I think it's obvious. I think to me, obvious choice here is that interior D line. That our run stopping ability last year run defense was absolutely horrible, and part of the big reason why is because get late in games, third, fourth quarter of games, man. Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams was absolutely gassed, man. Those guys were playing a lot of snaps. Playing a lot of snaps last year and couldn't keep them fresh. So I think this year with all the depth they added, bringing in Nacho and getting Ryder Anderson back and a couple other guys just bringing in that, just adding to the depth of that interior D line is going to help with that run defense. And I think that's going to definitely be probably one of the most improved units on this team. And one of the most improved things about this team in the 2023 season. I don't think teams are just going to be gashing us for the big runs like they were a year ago. I mean, everybody could run the football on the New York Giants last season, and it was just bad. It wasn't a good look. But like I said, I think that had a lot to do with the lack of depth and where Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams were just out there playing entirely too many snaps. As a big guy, I can tell you, we not built for that, being out on the field for 70 plays. That's just not what us big guys are built for. So hopefully they can get a little bit more rest, stay a little fresher, and be a little more valuable later on in games. I mean, Dexter Lawrence was an All Pro last year. He got his bag. He got the bag earlier this offseason, as well deserved. But at the end of the day, he was definitely gassed late in games. A lot of times last year. Even though he was still making plays anyway, that was just a testament to how great he is, how good that young man is. But I think with the addition of a lot of the guys they brought in to add to that D line depth, that's going to help with the run defense for the New York Football Giants this year. So yeah, them run lanes is going to be a little bit smaller. Tony Pollard and all y'all guys in Philly, man. I know y'all just throw the whole everything at every team y'all play, but them run lanes is definitely going to be a lot tighter, man. So I think it's going to be a big improvement. And I look forward to seeing that also take place for the New York Giants, man, because sometimes last year it was just like I couldn't even watch sometimes just any running back. It didn't even matter who the hell they were. I mean, Eagles, as an Eagle fan, y'all got the New York Giant killer, man, Boston Scott. That dude, if he played against the Giants every game, he'd be a fucking Hall of Fame running back. I mean, that's how crazy that is, and we got to put a stop to that, man. And I think this year with the moves Joe Shane made and the additions he added on that D line, I think it's gonna be really, really helpful.
I cannot wait to destroy your fantasy, bro.
We'll see, man. We'll see Christmas Day. Gotta wait till Christmas Day to see that one.
Oh man, why we gotta wait so late?
Don't worry, it won't have too long to wait. 9/11's right around the corner, so we'll see if his premonition comes true.
Hey, Mac.
it will.
Mac, just take a little play from our book, dude. Like, we didn't block Parsons at all during our 2 games last year. Dude did nothing. Like, he was completely just like turned upside down, inside out. He didn't know to turn behind him, in front of him. Like, you run right at Micah, he ain't shit. Just watch our plays, man. We'll show you how to stall them.
Well, no offense to you, Mac, but their offensive line's a lot better. So I think when I speak for Michael, I think I'll speak for Michael when I say their offensive line's a little better. You go ahead and try that against us on 9/11. I don't think it's going to end with the same result. But hey, if you want to take an Eagle fan's advice, go right ahead.
I mean, look, he's right. I don't do this often, but I will agree with Mr. Jones. The New York Giants offensive line is not exactly in the same class as the Philadelphia Eagle offensive line. So,
well, there you go.
I mean, that also makes a bit of a difference.
Yeah, I get that, but the formula is still the formula. It doesn't change. You execute.
Listen there, AK. What may have worked for you may not work for them. Okay, what you pulled off may not be able to be pulled off by the New York Giants. Oh, it might. Yeah, and I also might be younger in the next 5 minutes. No, it's not going to happen. Okay, it's not happening. All right, I'm Jared Jones. Listen to what I'm saying. Been around football longer than you've been alive. Okay, it's not going to happen. This year's not going to happen because we're going to beat you this year anyways. So you can sit there and put your money where your mouth is. Hey, New York Giant fans, do what he said. Watch what happens on 9/11 if you let that guy loose.
I'm definitely not worried about it, bro. I'm definitely not worried about it.
Well, maybe it should be.
If you feel that strongly about Mr. Pollard, man, why won't you pay the man?
That's my business and not yours, okay? That is between 2 adults right now. Okay. First off, if you must know, you got to dip into my business because this show needs my publicity right now. So I'm going to tell you a little secret, right? He was injured last year. And oh, by the way, unlike your pouty little running back, okay, he signed his tenure. He's already in here. Tony Pollard knows his worth. He knows that he needs us more than we need him. But he decided to sign on. And we're happy to have you. Tony, we love you. Your locker's right there. Don't forget about that. Don't forget to cash in on those coupons I gave you. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Pollard? But we have him here. He's going to be good and watch. He's going to lead the league in rushing if he stays healthy.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see about that.
When are you just going to come forward and admit it's because you're a cheap ass? You won't pay him.
We're cheap ass. You let your starting running back walk out the door, and you're telling me I'm a cheap ass?
Wait. How's he a star running back? He had 1 fucking year. 1 year where he proved one thing.
Our running back had 1 year and still got the bag. Yours left. Slam the door behind him.
I would rather mine leave because you know what? We got Swift and Penny. which two guys who can easily do what Miles Sanders did, and we don't have to pay them. We paid both of them the same amount that Miles Sanders just got from the Carolina Panthers.
Yes,
Miles
a penny.
got $7 million for how many years? And fucking, we just got fucking Swift and Penny for $7 million each.
Well, whoop-de-frickin-do to you. Okay, you can have your running backs who are still unproven. Tony Pollard, he proved last year that he's a dynamic playmaker. We played him. We hedged our bet against injury. It's our business why we're paying him $10 million. He has no problem being here on the tag. And when we decide to see if he plays next year, then maybe we'll pay him. We paid running backs already. Hello, Ezekiel Elliott, we already paid. So if you want to talk to me about my history about paying running backs, don't talk any further because we already paid ours. Just because we haven't paid Tony Pollard yet doesn't mean nothing. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. So you just sit back, relax, and let Tony Pollard run all over you, and we'll find out at the end of the year.
Well, okay, it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know. You think Tony Pollard's ready to take that next step and be that bell cow for you guys, man?
Do I think I know? I wouldn't have given him the franchise tag if I didn't think he could hold the bell cow. Here's the difference between Pollard, and I'll put my analyst hat on for you guys because I know you think I'm old and I don't watch the game and I'm old and raggedy and sitting on the yacht. But here's the thing. Ezekiel Elliott, while he was a bell cow, but he didn't have the juice anymore in his legs. And there's no offense to him. He's just a big bruising back. That's what happens to him. Sometimes, your Cadillac needs a little juice in it, right? We got the Ferrari in Tony Pollard. He is a dynamic player in both the passing game and the running game. I think what you're going to see a lot of is a lot of shotgun formation, a lot of RPO action, a lot of him running out there because he's a dual threat back. There is not one dimension to him. And not to mention our backup running back is also pretty good. Malik Davis, he runs pretty hard. So you got a guy who could run downhill. And we also just signed Ronald Jones. Remember him from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we do have some guys that can spell that back in Ezekiel. I think what you need to call Tony Pollard is not a running back, but more of an offensive weapon.
All right, we'll see, man. The kid had an impressive year a season ago, but he's coming off a pretty significant injury as well. So we'll see if he's ready. If he really got the juice, man. We'll see. But go ahead. While I got you on the line still, Mr. Jones, man, who do you think will be that player? Not necessarily. He's not a household name right now, but by season's end, people will know his name. Who do you think will be that guy for the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb right here. And we just signed him a few days ago. Well, not a few days ago, but we signed him last year. I think he's still on the team. I think Sam Williams is going to become a household name. Last year he was good, but he wasn't he was a rookie, right? He was out of Ole Miss. He only had 4 sacks. But this year, I think he puts it together. I think he really comes together this year, and you're going to see him in his name. People are going to talk about Micah Parsons, but guess what? Sam Williams, know that name. 54. Know his number, 5'4". Okay, 5'4". He's coming in through your door, going to kick in the door, wave in the 4-4. 5'4" is going to be in your backfield. All right, that's all I have to say about him. I thought it was, I wanted to say Dante Fowler, but he's not on our roster anymore. But I went with Sam Williams because I like Sam Williams. I think he had a good pass rush. He had a good playoffs last year. I think he's only going to build off of that. And with a year under his belt and a year under Dan Quinn, who may be my coach before the year's out if things happen with Mr. Mike McCarthy. But Dan Quinn has got these guys fired up, and he's another piece that people aren't talking about that I think at the end of the year is going to be up there in sacks.
That's a good pick because Sam Williams is a good young player, good young talent right there. You guys got down there in Dallas. And AK, man, how about you, man? Who do you think has got that guy on your roster? Might not be like a household name yet, but people gonna know his name by season end.
I'm gonna go with Reed Blankenship, man. The kid was a rookie last year, and he had to step in for 6 games for CJ Johnson, and he did a really nice job. And I believe he even picked off Aaron Rodgers, which kind of pissed off Darius Slay a little bit because, he's been trying to pick Aaron Rodgers off his whole career and still hasn't done it yet. And he's like, he gets to play 1 game and gets an interception. He's like, that's some bullshit, So
Well, we all get to try to pick off Aaron Rodgers this year. The NFC East plays the AFC.
Right.
I remember that. That was a Sunday night, right? For Sunday Night Football, right? I think.
Yep.
Wasn't
So
that game?
he gets another chance this year. So hopefully, Big Play Slay can get that done. But no, man, Blankenship. I think this kid's got a lot in him. He plays hard. He hits hard. He's really smart. He plays defense really well. So I think he takes that next leap this year, and I think he solidifies himself for the long term.
Yeah, is Blankenship the kid that Davis Webb ran over last year in that last game of the season for that touchdown run? I'm just saying. That's the Blanket?
Yeah, man. I can't remember that far back.
I think he is. I think he's the kid Davis Webb ran over, man. Our third string quarterback. Trucked him into for a touchdown in that last game of the season. It didn't matter. Y'all still won the game, so it was
I'm glad that guy's playing the defense for you.
No, he's a good young talent too. Also, I know exactly who he's talking about. That kid did definitely step in and make some plays, filling some big shoes for C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Bro, if I'm not mistaken, bro, I'm pretty sure he's the one that laid out Trayvon Burks from Tennessee in that Tennessee game in the end zone. Like I'm not saying that I approve of it, but these safeties do hit hard. All safeties do.
You're just a homer Philadelphia fan, just hating on my Cowboys. Stop hating on my quarterback.
Shout out to Philly halftime, man. Thanks for stopping and being in the chat too, man, brother. I really appreciate it.
I wish you were a Giant fan because I had a great comeback. I would have said at least my quarterback's going to throw more than one touchdown a game.
Maybe. We'll see about that, Mr. Jones. Your quarterback hasn't been the most consistent as of late.
1 year. You guys are looking at 1 year. Last year he had an injured thumb. The year before that he was a beast.
He's going in year 8, right? Like what makes you think the kid's gonna just automatically become fucking the next god of football? Come on, man.
He only has one playoff win more than Daniel Jones. I mean,
whoop-de freaking do. Whoop-de freaking do. Your quarterback. Okay. This is what we had to say. 4,400 yards last year. He played. He had 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions in 2021. Okay, 10 interceptions, 37. Yes, last year he had 23 touchdowns, but was injured at most of the season. So now you're going to sit here and tell me that your quarterback, who can barely throw touchdowns, okay, is now all of a sudden going to exponentially grow better and throw 4,400 yards and 37 touchdowns. You call me. Hey, you know what? You know what you guys can do? Both of you can call me.
He's got his best receiving core he's ever had. He's got his best set of weapons around him he's ever had.
For once,
what's up, Miz?
For once, I will actually agree with Mr. Jones here. Like,
that's right. You agree with me.
In all honesty, man, when it comes to DJ, and this is no Eagle fan biases, and this is straight football talk. Like, dude, when you look at the quarterback position, the pinnacle right now is Pat Mahomes. That is the guy you got to beat. All right. And you got to literally put your quarterback next to him and be like, can my guy beat him? Okay. And here's the thing. DJ's only got over 20 touchdowns once in his career, and that's literally his very first year, his rookie year. He had like 22, I believe. Ever since, it's been 10, 11, and then 15 last year. The kid's got to get over 20 touchdowns this year to even be like.
Well, since we went down this rabbit hole real quick, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off like that.
I was done.
Since we went down this rabbit hole real quick, I think though you got to look at it from a standpoint of, that DJ this year is set up to definitely do that, I believe. Now, he does have to do it. He needs to go out there and get it done, but he's set up to do it. I mean, he has literally the best set of weapons he's had his whole career, including that rookie season. He still didn't even have a receiving core as strong as what he's going to be going out there with this year. Even as a rookie, he didn't have that. So I believe that he's set up to do that, and I think he will do that. I mean, his rookie season, he still also had the leadership of Eli Manning on that sideline, helping him along the way, guiding him. different offense completely. Pat Shermer's offense was pretty much designed for the skill set of Daniel Jones. That also had a little something to do with his inflation of his numbers his rookie season in comparison to the rest of his career thus far. But I think now he's got a little bit of confidence. He got paid a little bit of money this offseason, and now he's going to go out there and try to prove to the people that he belongs. And I think that he has a legitimate shot to do so. I think the addition of Darren Waller, it just gives him a huge big time playmaker to go out there and have something and prove something, man. And I think he will. But just quick, real quick, what's going on? Yeah, go ahead.
Can you agree with me at least if Jordan Love comes out and has better numbers than DJ this year, you guys have to get a new quarterback?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, but yeah, I suppose. I would suppose you have to start if guys like that are just coming out of the woodworks and still performing better than Daniel Jones, then you have to start looking in the mirror. You have to start looking into something different. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know. I think this kid is finally set up to actually do something productive this year and more positive. Real quick though, I want to say what's up to Miz joining in the chat, Coach Ed, Alex from Big Blue in the Bronx. Thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it,
What's up,
man.
guy?
You guys coming through. But yeah, but as far as the question I had put on the table about who I think could be a potential, not a household name that could step in and for the New York Giants, I think that could be a second-year player, man, Darian Beavers. I think this kid was really having a productive, training camp a year ago, and then he ended up getting the injury in preseason. And I think this kid can come back, and I think he can really show the world what he can do and become a fierce linebacker in this league and a guy that everybody will know when it's all said and done come the end of the season. I think Darian Beavers can be that guy to step in and do it, man. Oh, okay. That's good to know, Alex. Said Darren Beavers was right next to Okereke today in training camp, man. Yeah, in practice. So, yeah. That's already a good sign right there, man. That's letting me know that I think Darren Beavers is absolutely legit, man. And I think if it wasn't for that injury last year, this kid would have had a big productive rookie season as well. So we'll see what he's got, man. He's coming off of a serious injury, significant injury. So it's got a lot to prove, man. But I think he's gonna be he's gonna be that one guy that come end of the season, people are gonna say, oh, that guy Darian Beavers, late round draft pick as well, too, on the New York Giants, man. He's something else, man. I think he's gonna be that guy, man. Coach Ed here says, depends on where the numbers are. Example, 3,500 plus passing yards, 700 plus rushing yards, 25 plus touchdowns, passing and rush. That's productive. That's productive.
For sure. That is productive.
So, that's another thing about his numbers last year with the 15 touchdown passes. Since we went down the Daniel Jones rabbit hole here, okay. That 15 touchdown passes, the thing about it is, though, yeah, that number is very low for most starting quarterbacks. The fact that, like Justin Fields, with all the issues people talk about with him throwing the ball, actually had more passing touchdowns than Daniel Jones. But at the end of the day, he also did add those extra 7 or so touchdowns with his legs, man, and those still count for something too, man. So that's still, overall, he was still bringing a lot to the offense. Like I said, the numbers during the whole Saquon Barkley thing. Saquon Barkley was 40% of the offense. Well, Daniel Jones is probably about 30% or so his damn self. So it wasn't an explosive offense a year ago by no means, but I think this offense definitely has what it takes to go to that next level, man. As long as that offense, it's going to be a lot to depend on the offensive line as well. If they can hold up, man, I think you're going to see the best version of Daniel Jones you've seen, man. I think this kid has the tools. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and be all pro, all world by no means. He's not one of the best quarterbacks in the league necessarily per se, but I think he has the tools to be a very competent starter.
And that's fine, but you guys paid him to be better than that. So that's what I'm saying. And if you look at the numbers that just came out with Justin Herbert, enough said. So you can come up, hey, anyone can come over at my friend Adam, and he's ready for that heat. I don't care about no damn heat, because at the end of the day, it don't matter to me. Let's see if what he can do after this. But you guys are talking about Dak Prescott. The guy threw 37 touchdowns last year, 2 years ago. I don't think he's going to fall off. So we'll see what happens, but we'll find out 9/11.
I mean, we'll see. Like I said, it's a lot. It's gonna be a lot of questions to be answered, man. But speaking of the questions, how about this one, just for you, AK? Because this doesn't really pertain to any of us.
Yeah.
But what does your team do? What does the Philadelphia Eagles need to do to maintain a stronghold on the division, man?
We'll find out, boy.
No, in all honesty, man, we just need to keep doing what we're doing. You got probably the hardest worker in Jalen Hurts, man. This kid lives and breathes football. You got a bunch of dudes who truly like working together, truly enjoy playing football with one another. They're not greedy. They're unselfish, just a great group of dudes, man, that just want to win. And they're building off of last year and years to come. We're figuring it out, man. And it's great. I really feel that Jalen's going to take that next step forward again this year and keep proving to everyone that he is the force to be reckoned with in the NFC. And, sky's the limit, man. Seriously.
Well, I mean, that's good. That's cool. I mean, like you brought up Jalen Hurts, so you don't think there's going to be any, nothing's going to slow this kid down. I mean, the fact that he's now one of the richest guys in the NFL, one of them. I mean, right up in the top 5 or so, I would imagine, with the contract he just signed this past off season. You pretty much you think he's going to still keep his eye on the prize, stay focused. He still got what it takes, that desire, that hunger. I mean, he did come up short in Super Bowl a year ago, this past season. So that hunger is still there. That fire is still burning, you believe?
Well, listen, man, I think we can all agree Jalen Hurts wasn't brought up poor. The kid wasn't hurting. I mean, he wasn't wealthy like he is now, but he wasn't poor. The desire's always been there. It's not about money for him. It's about being the best. I mean, how many times have you heard this kid talk about it? All he wants to do is just fill his trophy room and be the best that he can be in the time that he's given. And that's a winner, man. So, you can be as good as you want as long as you have the mental part down pat and you dedicate your life to the craft, man. And that's all this kid does. I don't think money changes Jalen Hurts. I don't think it changes the way he plays. I don't think it changes anything about him. If anything, he's now more hungrier than ever. And, he's looking on to the future and how many rings he can win in that time because he wants to repay what the Eagles gave him. So that's the way I look at it, dude. I'm not worried about him whatsoever.
One more question for you. I'll read Coach Ed's comment real quick first, though. Eagles young players need to step up and show their mettle. New coordinators have to continue with what was established. Team can't be complacent.
No, I 100% agree with that.
I agree with that 100%.
I'm not worried offensively. All we did was upgrade our offense from internal. Brian Johnson was our QB coach last year. We just moved him up. The only thing that's different this year is there is no Shane Steichen. But this offense was modeled and built by Nick Sirianni. Shane Steichen helped him fine-tune it. But don't think, for instance, that just because we lost Shane Steichen that we're going to go downhill. We're not. Brian Johnson's been around this team the last 3 years, and he knows this offense inside and out. He called plays in Florida for Kyle Trask, if I'm not mistaken. So listen, I believe in Brian Johnson. I believe in what we're doing. And then our defensive coach, his scheme is the exact same scheme that Jonathan Gannon plays. He only rushes 4 to 5 who's on the line. He doesn't really blitz linebackers. So our defense isn't even changing. Pretty much the scheme is still the same scheme. So I don't think much is going to change at all, man. Yeah, some positions have changed, but you know what? My talent is still there. So I'm not worried. I really am not.
I mean, personally, I agree. I do agree. The talent is still there, obviously. As long as you don't come in guys want to put their little imprint on things. Don't get too cute. I mean, you already have a winning system. You just got to follow through and continue with it. I agree. So I agree with you, AK, with that.
No, and listen, man, listen, you're gonna have a little bit of change. Every coordinator is gonna want to do some things a little bit different, but the majority of the defense and the majority of the offense and the core that it's built around is still gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Mr. Jones. What do you feel like the Dallas Cowboys need to do to dethrone the Philadelphia Eagles at the top of the mountain in the NFC East?
Well, first off, stop the run. That's first off. Second off, get our quarterback's head out of his ass and let our offense run. Because, like I said to you a couple years ago, he's thrown 37 touchdowns. It's not like his talent is going to fall off that quickly. A lot of things went wrong last year in terms of injury, in terms of offensive line play. He didn't have a good season. So this year, if he has a good season and we're off to a good start and he takes the reads that are in front of him, maybe runs the ball a little bit more in terms of taking what the defense gives him and is not a turnover machine, then you're going to see us beat the Cowboys. Remember, the Cowboys and Eagles have swapped the division titles the last couple of years. It's been the Eagles one year, the Cowboys next. The Eagles one year, the Cowboys next. Well, guess what? It's our turn right now to come get them. And now the Eagles, I know, are pretty good, but we have 3 good corners on our team. We have a good defensive backfield. We have a good front seven. Our defense, when it comes to play, needs to be more consistent. If it can be more consistent, our defense will be top 5, and that'll help us win some games this year. And like you said, our playmakers making plays. Last year we were good. We turned the ball over a lot, so our plus minus wasn't good. The year before that, we didn't turn the ball over as much. So if we can reduce the turnovers, keep the turnovers to a minimum, and play good defense, we could be right up there with the Eagles.
I mean, that's interesting. I mean, look, Mr. Jones, I see where you're coming from there. It's all obviously easier said than done. This Philadelphia Eagle team is definitely talented. I mean, if I got to be honest and speak the truth, you guys, from a talent standpoint, are definitely the next closest and probably the most likely to have a legitimate opportunity to dethrone those guys. But how do you feel about your head coach taking over play calling duties this year?
Well, I think it's going to be good because, again, like I said, 3 years ago in 2020 when he came in, he was calling the plays. And then Dak broke his leg, and so then they gave the play calling duties to Kellen Moore so that he could call the plays with Andy Dalton as their quarterback. And he then, once those plays were being called, obviously, we gave Kellen Moore the green light to go. If you look at what he's done in Green Bay and calling plays and look what he's done over his career, I'm not worried about that. I think the offense is going to be good. The only thing I would worry about is he doesn't always have great 2-minute clock management skills. Let's hope that he can figure out how to use a damn timeout, or I'm going to fire his ass, right then and there on the field. But if he can do what he did in Green Bay, because I do believe that Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott have similarities to their game. They both like to throw on the run. They both like to move around in the pocket. They both like to kind of get into open space. The thing that I was thinking about last week was about Tony Romo, right? What was one of his deadliest things? He always found the open spot. If Dak Prescott can just move kind of Russell Wilson it to an open spot so we can buy time, or take that 5 yards and slide, because I think a lot of things in the 49er game, he had some opportunities and he blew them because he was too busy trying to stand in there and take the pocket. Just take the 5 yards and slide and live to play another down. So if he plays a little smarter, I think we'll be better off.
I mean, good. I mean, your defense this offseason has been getting obviously high praise, and I'd say deservedly so. You made some moves, and then you guys already, like you said, the front seven is definitely legit, and you definitely tightened up that back end of that defense. It looks like, at least on paper. So you feel like you already said you think you have a top 5 defense. You think your defense actually has the ability to even be maybe a number 1 defense. You feel that?
I think you're going to see the pass rush go up a lot more. Last year, the defense was very inconsistent because one minute they would give up 40 points. The next minute they would shut teams down like the Vikings and not have them score points. So I think with Stephon Gilmore, it's going to allow them to be more flexible in their blitz packaging and anything in their front seven, right? With Mozzie Smith, I think in the first couple of downs, it'll allow us to free up Micah Parsons. So I think our defense can be top 3, maybe even top 2 defense this year. I like what Dan Quinn's done. I think we've given him the pieces now, and he's proven it. Now he's just got to be consistent with it. And I think once you do that, you're going to see the results, and our defense is going to win us a lot more games this year.
You know what's funny
right.
about the whole thing, bro? And sorry to interrupt that, but you saw that clip a while back where Sherman admitted that Devontae Smith made him retire. I think that's what's going to happen whenever they play us. Is Stephon Gilmore's going to realize he ain't made for this shit no more, and his record will be gone, bro. Devontae Smith is going to cook that dude. I'm telling you, bro. Like, he ain't even ready.
We'll find out.
Interesting.
That's why they play the games
indeed.
on Sunday. That's why they play the games. Okay, you can say what you want to say, say what you need to say. Isn't that what the song says? Say what you need to say, but we'll find out on Sunday.
Just one more question for you, real quick, Mr. Jones. Since early in the off season, obviously you have released your former star running back Ezekiel Elliott, and he still seems to be on the unemployment line, bro. Is there any chance we may still see him with a star on his helmet? If he can humble himself, and come back for a lesser role in your offense, would you be open to that?
As they say never. Things happen. He's on speed dial. We told him to keep in shape, lay off the donuts, okay, because we may be calling you if Tony Pollard goes down. For all we know, from now until, knock on wood, but you don't want anything to happen to your starter. But God forbid someone gets nicked up and we need to call. Guess who's going to be right there? He knows it. He's made a lot of money from me. I paid him. I gave him a lot of money. He's ready to go. So I doubt anyone else is going to take him off the team, but he'll be real close to us if anything happens. If Tony Pollard goes down, the good thing about us is he's been in our offense. It's not like we're going to bring in somebody new and we're going to have to retrain him. He'll already know what to do coming in there. We hope it doesn't get to that point. We wish Ezekiel Elliott the best, but you best believe that he's on my Rolodex. That's right. I still use a Rolodex. All this technology, I still got a Rolodex. It's on my desk. He's still there. He's number 1. I got it open right now. His number is 555. I'm not going to do that to him right now on national TV like that. But what I'm going to say is, don't you worry about him. He'll be here if we need him. And if he is not here, we'll find somebody else to do it. But I do like our stable of backs with Ronald Jones. And everything like that. So never say never, as they say, but we're hoping to move forward.
I will say this, man. I am very, very surprised he has not been signed to somewhere. I get he has lost a step, but he still ran for 850 yards and 12 touchdowns last year. 12
he should still be on the roster. He should be on the roster. He will be when it's all said. There's no way.
No one's taking a shot. Like, no one? Really? Like, dude, that's 12 touchdowns that you could put on your team.
Who just banned the Miz? I wonder who did that. But that's interesting. I gotta look into that. But it just threw me off for a second. I'm sorry. But as for the New York Football Giants, obviously our roster doesn't exactly stack up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I tried to delete the comment, but it didn't work out. And it banned him. It said to delete. I was going to delete one.
Oh. But it banned him out the thing, so he's like not even in the chat at all.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well. Keep it moving.
But what was I going to say? As for the New York Football Giants, obviously, I think most people know that the comments don't stack up. That the rosters don't really stack up for the New York Football Giants. I think honestly, I can honestly say there's no way you don't put our roster next to the Eagles or the Cowboys, and it's just we're not better. It's not on paper, not better. It doesn't look better on paper, obviously. I think with the New York Giants, it's going to take just that still good, smart football, man, all season. They're going to have to play that mistake-free football, very limited mistakes, especially when playing against teams like the Eagles and the Cowboys. You can't go out there, making the big mistakes that can hurt you, because those are teams that will definitely capitalize on those mistakes. So it's gonna definitely take that for the New York Giants to be able to even have an opportunity to dethrone the Eagles, man. Honestly, when I made my predictions after the schedules released and all that stuff, I did pick the Giants to leapfrog the Dallas Cowboys. But I still didn't pick them. I picked them to still come up short of the Philadelphia Eagles. To be honest, I just don't think we're still quite that caliber. We're still another year or two away from being quite where they are right now. I mean, as far as just from me keeping it real all the way, my real perspective. But I think this New York Giant team got a lot of moxie, and it's a very well-coached football team, as we do have the Coach of the Year, Brian Dable. And I think we're kind of still a wild card in the sense. I mean, we might not sneak up on people as like we did a year ago, but at the same time, I think this team really got some good seasoning on them last year, got some good experience, got to the playoffs, won a playoff game. But the reality is when we went divisional round against those Philadelphia Eagles, we got our teeth kicked in. And we found out that we weren't quite ready for that level yet. So I think this team is going to just continue to.
Right, as us?
Had the same what?
You guys have the same schedule as us, right?
Yeah, except for 3 games, yeah. Just with the exception of 3 games. But yeah. Played all the same teams except for the three extra games. So,
who's your 3 games that we don't have? Do you know off the top of your head?
We played the Raiders. We played who is it right now? Offhand, it's not coming to me. New Orleans, I believe. And I can't remember the other one right now offhand.
That's still 2 nice games right there.
New Orleans and what division do we play this year? The NFC. We played the NFC West. We played the NFC West this division. So the NFC North team we play is what? Chicago, maybe? No, Chicago was dead last.
We played the 3rd place team.
It was who was that? I mean, Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Play Green Bay? I guess if Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay had to come in 3rd last year in that division, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, Andrew? How you doing?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just know our schedule is really, really, really tough, man. And I even told Adam, I expect 12 to 13 for my team. Like I know, there is a lot more tougher games this year. Our schedule is number 1 toughest, and I realize that, and we do have a lot of young players, so I expect maybe 1 or 2 drop off in games. But yeah, man, that's really rough for the entire NFC East, honestly, because there's some good freaking teams on this list this year that we got to play against.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the difference. Like how we play the Raiders, y'all play the fucking Chiefs. You know what I mean? Because y'all end up playing. So. Well, we played, I think, Green Bay. Y'all play Minnesota, and the same with and we played New Orleans. Y'all play. Well, that division sucked last year anyway. But y'all play the Bucks, I guess. But that division, even though that division sucked, and the Bucks will suck. So actually, y'all kind of gotta give me there. Even though they were the 1st place team a year ago, that team may be the last place team.
I feel so bad for them, bro. Having. Their whole freaking season's on Baker and Kyle Trask. That's gotta hurt.
But yeah,
they're gonna be playing for Caleb Williams. Let's be honest.
But yeah, the New York Giants gonna have to definitely play really good, mistake-free, fundamental football to even stack up with either one of those teams. And I don't want to even knock the Washington Commanders, because that team right there could be a sneaky team, little sneaky team too. They definitely got some talent. Apparently. There's some high expectations for their defense to make some kind of resurgence. Apparently, I don't know if I'm buying in on that yet, but we'll see, man. And that team can be definitely sneaky good as well. So you never know. I think this is, like I said, I've already mentioned it before. This is going to be a very competitive division. It's going to be some fun football to watch, man. But I think last year too, AK. I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like you guys were. I don't take anything away from how good you were a year ago, but I think you also were kind of blessed a year ago as well as this team. You didn't seem to have too many of those like killer injuries, but at the same time, it also goes to show about how good your depth is as well. So how good the depth is in Philadelphia. But I think you can stay as fairly healthy as you guys were a year ago.
I hope so, man. For a long time there, the last couple years before this past one, I truly started to wonder if my team was cursed some way. Because we had a lot of injuries there with Carson, defensively, offensively, wide receiver wise. Holy crap! Let's not even get into that. There was tons of injuries everywhere, man. And I'm very blessed that my team took a major leap forward, and we didn't have any significant injuries last year. Now, granted, I give Howie Roseman a lot of that credit as well because, he put a lot of money, time, and effort into making sure that, our coach or our physical trainers and all that are up to par and everything's, up to date. And now we have one of the top physical places there, and we take good care of our players. So maybe that's the turnaround. But yeah, man. I don't like talking injuries, man, because when I start doing that, shit happens.
I don't. I was just saying. For the most part, something I just noticed about the Eagle team last year. I mean, obviously you had injuries, but you didn't
Yeah.
seem to have any of those devastating ones that necessarily just rocked your season. You know what I mean? So I was just saying that kind of stayed fairly healthy overall. I mean, obviously you had some things like anybody else. Jordan
Yeah.
Mailata dealt with something for the most part. A lot of I was probably your biggest, most significant. I
CJ
mean, between
Johnson was
C.J.
probably our
Gardner
biggest.
Johnson, yeah, that was
That
a big
last
one.
grade
Yeah,
definitely took him out for 6 weeks. But I mean, that's the thing, though, man. That's something I believe that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie spent a lot of time and money on is upgrading our physical therapy and shit like that because we did have a lot of injuries there for a while, dude. And I remember 2020 whenever Carson was playing, dude. He threw for 4,000 yards plus, and he had no wide receiver over 500 yards that entire year. Because we were just going through wide receivers left and right. That was Alshon down, Deshaun Jackson was down. Like all these people, dude. And I don't ever want to see the injury bug ever again, man. And I wish it on no team because that takes away good football. I'd rather be 100% on both sides because then when you win, man, and you earn that win. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Andrew, man, he said I'm a 5-time world champ Dallas Cowboys fan, but Eagles are going to be a problem. They got so much better in the draft, and I definitely agree. It's like a team that was already that good to be able to go out there and have the draft that they had, man. And that first round alone, I'm still angry about that first round for the Philadelphia Eagles this past year in the draft, man.
Criminal,
Like
bro.
this seems it's like
Criminal.
the rich gets richer, man. It seems like turnaround with AJ Brown. That was the big pickup a year ago, and said he made Hurts a Pro Bowler. He made him more than just a Pro Bowler. He got Hurts paid. I
Wait,
mean,
wait, wait, wait.
some of that's definitely a testament to Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to take it all, give all the credit to AJ
Yeah,
Brown,
yeah.
but
Yeah, because listen, man, I always have an issue with that, and I'm sorry, don't mean to interrupt again, but it's one of those things where you can still get AJ Brown, bro, but just because Jalen Hurts has him doesn't mean he would succeed. There's plenty of quarterbacks who have had really good talent at wide receiver and just are okay quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't take it all away from Jalen. He did a lot to succeed.
he put that work in. He put that work in for sure, man. He made me a believer. I ain't gonna lie. He made me a believer for sure. I was definitely one of those ones that said Jalen Hurts had something to prove to me, and he proved it. So I can't knock the kid. He's definitely one of the top end quarterbacks in the league, and I'm not going to question it no more ever. He's legit as it comes, man. When he got drafted, I thought he was just getting drafted to be a gimmick player, and he's a legit franchise quarterback, and he's getting paid like a legit franchise quarterback, and I can't say he didn't deserve it. So, fellas, man, I really appreciate you guys, man, coming through, man, and doing this. Mr. Jones, it's a pleasure having you on the panel, man. It
You're
was
right. You're lucky you have me on the panel.
I mean, it was a
Thank
pleasure.
you for
You
having me.
entertaining, as usual, man.
Well, thank you
Definitely.
for having me. Thank you definitely for having me. I know you guys are going to regret saying all those negative things about me come 9/11, but we'll find out. But again, thank you for having me. Maybe next year I'll make an appearance. I don't know. I might be on my yacht. I have no idea. It depends on when training camp starts. But again, thank you for having me, and I look forward to listening to more of your shows.
But before we get out of here, I am kind of curious how you guys feel the division shaking up this year, man. AK. I kind of know how you feel, but I know how you feel about the top anyway.
Well, first and foremost, man, appreciate you guys inviting me on. This was really fun. I enjoy it. In all honesty, with everything that I'm going through personally, this is like my only normalcy that I get. This is the only place I really feel comfortable, because I know football, and well, at least I feel I know football, and I just feel comfortable doing this. So I appreciate you guys with the invite, and yeah, man, for me, obviously Eagles are going to be on top. I'll just say 13 wins. I'll go with Dallas in second with 11. I think the Giants are going to stay at 9. Sorry about the truck. I think the Giants are going to stay at 9. And then I got Washington like around 6 or 7. So.
Interesting. How do you feel, Mr. Jones?
How do I feel? That blasphemy that just came out of that guy's mouth. Are you kidding me? He's not giving any respect to my team. I'm going to tell you this right now. Okay, sit down, get your popcorn ready, because I'm going ham on you right now. Okay, we are going to be number 1. We are going to be number 1 in the division. I say we're going to win 12 games. That's right. You heard it here first. 12 games. Taking up behind us, the rear, looking at our caboose, are the Eagles. Because I got to give respect to where respect is due. You went to the NFC Championship game and you won. You punch your ticket to the Super Bowl. I know you make fun of me and my team, but, I respect you no matter what. And the last 2 teams are Sam Howell and Daniel Jones. A toss-up between who I pick. I guess what I'll do is I'll go with Daniel Jones in this case. I know people hate my friend Adam because, he's not really anti-Daniel Jones. All he is saying that Daniel's average. But, hey, you know what? It's okay. He'll be average at number 3 in the division. And number 4 will be Sam Howell. I hope he proves us all wrong. But right now, I'm a little scared. I do like their new owner, though. He was pretty cool. I don't have any blackmail on him yet, but we'll never know. Daniel Snyder, I hate that guy. You know him. He always showed up late and never brought anything to those owners' meetings. But anyways, now that he's out there, Washington's probably going to be competent. With that being said, they're going to be 4th in the division. I don't think they're going to be any better than maybe, 7 wins. If they start to tank, they may want to tank for Caleb Williams or Drake May, just in case, But that's all I have to say about that. And you're going to find out what being a Dallas Cowboy really is on 9/11.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm sorry, brother. I don't really feel like the problems are as significant as people make it seem. I don't think Daniel Jones is anything special or great, but I just don't think he's necessarily a problem. I think as long as the O-line can hold up and these receivers can create some form of separation and get open some of the damn time, I think he'll be solid enough that he won't be the reason for any lack of success we may or may not have. But as far as my standings, I got the standings just like Philly halftime here, and that's just me keeping it as real as I believe it's going to be, man. I think the Eagles are still the cream of the crop. I honestly, until proven otherwise, I can't take them off that pedestal, man. But I think the Giants do leapfrog the Dallas Cowboys this season. Not by a lot necessarily, but I think the Eagles will be like about a 13, 14 win team. I think the Giants can win 11 games this season. I think the Cowboys might come up a little short of that at maybe about 10 wins. It's just the Dallas Cowboys, man. You guys always find a way to just fall apart, man. And I think it's going to be at the expense of the New York Giants this year. Got the New York Giants taking it to your Cowboys this season and jumping over top of y'all in that division. And then I got the Cowboys coming up in 3rd.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, one thing we all agree on.
4 times in a row, and this is the respect we get.
Stop living in the past, man.
I'm living in the present because we come for your ass on 9/11.
But Washington, one thing we do all agree on is the Washington Commanders we think is pulling up the rear in this division. But I think they can still be a little bit dangerous as well. Honestly, this is going to be a fun division to watch this year. I think the only division that could even rival us in excitement is going to be maybe that AFC North as well. It's going to be two very, very exciting divisions. AFC East a little bit too. I mean, it's going to be some fun football. I'm glad it's football season again, y'all, man. I'm glad it's football season again. I mean, maybe we are, man, but I just don't see it, man. I don't know, man. The Cowboys find a way to always get in their way, get in their own way. And I think I'm not saying we're going to be significantly better. I'm just saying I think we jump over them and edge them out for second place. That's how I just feel about it. And I'm not saying that being a homer.
Bro,
we'll
I'm gonna say this, man, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. And this is not even as an Eagle fan. If DJ was my quarterback, I'd be begging to get rid of his ass, and I'm not even playing. I mean, if Jalen played his best play the last 4 years,
how come no one's jumping down his throat? You know what I'm saying? You start jumping down my friend Adam's throat over here.
Here's my thing, like keep telling people though about the Daniel Jones narrative, is Daniel Jones has literally played with nothing his whole career. So I mean, other than Saquon Barkley, like that's it. Running back, like that's it. Like he has not had a legitimate number one wide receiver, and he still doesn't. He still doesn't have a legitimate number one wide receiver. So it's like, I'm not knocking Jalen Hurts because, I mean, I'm not saying the kid don't work hard, but Daniel Jones, he has two number one wide receivers. Daniel Jones doesn't even have one. Jalen Hurts has two. So, I mean, that shit makes a difference, man. And Daniel Jones, the best receiver Jones has played with literally was his rookie season playing with fucking Golden Tate. Like, that's your best guy that he's had, his probably most competent, closest to a number one receiver he's had. I mean, the Kenny Galladay, I guess, was supposed to be, but that obviously didn't work out nearly like the Giants wanted it to. So, I mean, look, this kid, I'm not making, it's like, call it excuses, but it's also facts. The kid ain't played with shit. And this year, he still don't have a number one receiver necessarily, but he's still got at least a more solid group than he's ever had. Like I said, I'm not calling the kid awesome. I'm not calling the kid amazing. But what I'm just saying that I think he's a little better than guys give him credit for, and I think you're going to see that this year. You're going to see probably the best version of him you've ever seen. That's what I'm calling for.
Let me get this straight then. So let's take Daniel Jones and let's put him on my team real fast.
Yeah,
you honestly
put him on the Eagles team. I absolutely do, because he can make all the throws, and he can definitely throw the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. He would absolutely be able to throw the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith standing behind that offensive line. He absolutely would be able to.
I'm not saying that he couldn't make the throws, but I'm telling you, bro, he ain't going to the Super Bowl, and you ain't getting 15 games from him. I promise you that.
I mean, I don't know.
He's not fast.
He got 9 last year.
I understand that, man, but he is not a quick judgment with the football. He takes time to take his reads, bro. He sits in that pocket a long time. He needs to get quicker at reading, and I'm telling you, man.
Well, the guys got to get open for him. That's been a problem too. Guys got to get open for him. Yeah, well, he's just open and waiting. Somebody actually gets open.
If I'm not mistaken, bro, I'm pretty sure one of your wide receivers were actually one of the most open wide receivers in the NFL last year. And if I'm not mistaken, that was like Slayton, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So he's one of the most.
Slayton has to catch the football when you throw it to him.
Yeah, but still, though, if he's open, though, why are you not throwing?
Slayton catches the hard passes. He catches the hard passes. But he'll drop the ones that he is open and hits them right in his hands. He'll drop those. I mean, I'm just telling you what it is, man.
I know, but you still got to throw it. I mean, hey, if he drops it, then all you can do is blame Slayton, man. But you still got to throw the ball. When he ain't throwing the ball when he's open, that's on DJ. That's not on Slayton. If you release it and then he drops it, then we have an argument. It's like, all right, well, he's getting you the ball. You just are dropping it. Well, if he's the most open wide receiver,
like I'm telling you, I'm trying to go. Out of the
And
he puts them on the ground a lot, man.
I know, dude. You're talking to a guy that had dropping wide receivers for 3 years fucking straight. I mean, come on. I was working with Josh Huff at one fucking point. You know, who the fuck is Josh Huff?
I mean,
I'm just saying, man. I get it. And listen, I hope to God I'm wrong. You know, I hope you guys can sit here next year and be like, CAK, you were wrong. I just don't really feel. There's nothing that wows me with the kid. There's nothing. What, he's a hard worker?
There might not be. He doesn't have that. He might not have that, like, that little swag, that little excitement. He doesn't have that. He's just a kind of, go to work, puts his hard hat on and go to work kind of guy. Nothing special. Like I said, nothing special about him. And I'm not saying there's anything special about him. I'm just saying the kid has worked with basically nothing all his whole entire career. As far as receivers go, basically nothing. Golden Tate is, like I said, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say Golden Tate is the best receiver that this kid has had to throw the football to throughout his whole career.
Can't we sit there and say that to a point Eli Manning didn't have a lot of fucking wide receivers in his career? The only reason that they were even successful is because he made them successful? I mean, can we not sit here and say that? I mean, he didn't really have anybody that crazy and great. He had a few that went off now and then every year, but he didn't do it.
I mean, he did it because Eli had 2011. 2011. Eli had a trio of receivers that were legit, man. That was a legit trio of receivers he had. He had Plaxico Burress for a good duration of his career. Then he got OBJ to sustain his career. So, no, not the same. Sorry. We drafted Daniel Jones. We traded OBJ the same damn season. I mean, this kid has been behind the 8 ball from that standpoint. And like I said, there's nothing great about what he's got, necessarily great about on paper about what he's got this year, but it's just better. It's just better than what he's had. So, it's time for him to step up because now he does have at least some competent guys that can go out there and make some plays. So now he has to go out there and execute. That's what I'm saying. He does have to prove, but I think that he will prove people that he's a little better than people giving him credit for. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and be league MVP. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying he's going to be better than people think he is. That's all.
And what's that?
That's
Number
all.
16 out of 32?
But
just wondering.
I have
because
no
what's
idea
better
what the
than that?
reproduction is, man. I'm not in the coaching room. I have no idea. But the fact that you've had him for 4 years and he's only thrown 11,000 yards, that should be concerning. Considering that
Coach, is that he has trouble going through his progressions. Not that the progressions aren't taught. It's Daniel Jones, and this is just a Cowboys opinion. He's a conservative. He's a conservative quarterback. That's what he does. Now, I'm hearing all this stuff from Giant Camp that they're going to be, throwing the ball all over the yard. And yes, he looked good probably today. But what you got to think is, does the Tiger change his stripes? Will he take the more daring throws down the field? Because that's going to, regardless of who you are, open you up to turnovers, open you up to tip balls and tip passes. It's going to happen. Okay, then please let us know what you're saying, because I don't know. I don't know. That's what I think is he's a conservative quarterback. And I think sometimes he doesn't take chances. I don't think he always has to throw somebody to be open, but what he needs to do, I think, is be more daring with the football. Say, hey, listen, man, I know that there's a defender on the back pocket. Let me zip it in here and not worry about the consequence. I think sometimes he worries about the consequence too much, and that's what hinders him. If he can get over that hurdle, we'll see.
And I told you, I agree too that you have to build a relationship with your wide receivers. There is a chemistry that is involved with all of this, and I understand.
There's also a thing called trust, and when trust is lost, that you do, like, Mike, these guys are not going to make the plays I need them to make. Sometimes that's also going to have you questioning, do I really want to fucking pull the trigger on launching this ball downfield to this guy that's going to probably either drop it, probably either or drop. That's proves to me that they're gonna either probably drop it, just run the wrong route, whatever. It's like it's a lot right now with the receiving crew that the New York Giants have rolled out throughout Daniel Jones' career. It's just been a lot, man. It's been a lot. I'm not and the fact that the offensive line's been bad too, between having just average receivers, one of the worst offensive lines in football, that doesn't favor a quarterback, and that doesn't favor any quarterback. That's just facts. Some guys are just in situations where those things aren't a problem. Like I get with Cincinnati, their offensive line is also not great, one of the worst in football. But you know how they counter that? By having Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and guys that he can still just be like, they're not blocking, but I'm gonna just throw the fucking ball up because I got guys that'll make plays. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. It's an impact. It's like the Super Bowl with the Eagles and Super Bowl against the Chiefs. That one touchdown pass, was it a touchdown pass? He threw to A.J. Brown that long touchdown pass? Yeah. He had the confidence to just launch that thing because he knows he has a fucking beast out there that's going to go out there and go get it. We don't have that in New York. And it's like I said, those things, you can't just look past those things when critiquing a quarterback. I mean, this guy hasn't, like I said, he still doesn't have a number one guy, but he has a better group of guys. So we'll see if he can take that step.
Your wide receivers also have to trust the guy throwing in the ball. You know, and listen,
they speak highly of him. They all speak highly of Daniel Jones.
Well, of course, man. You know what? There was a lot of people that talked highly about Carson Wentz until Carson Wentz wasn't here no more. You know, all I'm saying is that one thing I was taught whenever I first started YouTube from Gail Saunders, much love to him, is follow the money. You know, when I look at the money, dude, you guys gave him 2 years, $40 million. To me, that's not very secure. That tells me you're not secure with him because it's only 2 years. You look at Justin Herbert. What has Justin Herbert really actually done in the NFL yet? Not much. But yet he got 5 years, 262. Some people might say, well, they overpaid for him. He hasn't done anything. You're right. That might be the case. But Justin Herbert looks the part and plays the part. That's the difference. You got to follow the money. When somebody's only getting a 2-year contract, there's not much belief in that contract. That's what I'm talking about. If they were comfortable with DJ, he would have gotten 4 years. He would have gotten 5 years.
Well, he still has stuff to prove, though. That's what we're all saying. He has things to prove.
I know.
And I'm not disputing that. I'm definitely not disputing that. But here's what Coach says. If the reads are 1, 2, 3 to the right, but the open receiver comes open on the backside, does that cause a slow read? Yeah, that would absolutely cause a slow read. I mean, that's the thing. That's where offensive line play comes. That's where the offensive line comes to play. That's why there's 11 guys on offense. And I get the quarterbacks are the big dogs, make all the big money. But at the end of the day, it still takes a unit, man, and have to function together as a unit. And Giants have had very poor offensive line play, and they have not had, exactly what we would call top-level receivers. Exactly. I mean, so I'm sorry. I mean, if someone want to call it excuses, I'm just calling what it is. Yeah, I think the guy is finally set up to have it to be able to show a little more what he can actually do because he has guys, I think, that'll be a lot more competent working around him this year.
All right.
I mean, the addition of Darren Waller should just certainly help.
Then what do you call Carson Wentz's 2020 season when he had over 4,000 yards, no wide receiver over 500 yards, and he was 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions? I'm pretty sure that's a pretty successful quarterback. That is a very more than capable quarterback. And that was with no-name wide receivers because, like I said, Alshon was done for the season. Deshaun Jackson was out. We literally had shopping mall fucking wide receivers. No-name people. And he still went to the playoffs. That was the year that Clowney knocked him out with a concussion in the first 3 snaps. And that's what I'm saying. Even if you don't have wide receivers, elite quarterbacks let you know they're elite by what they do on the field.
Well, I didn't call Daniel Jones elite, though. I'm not calling him elite.
I know, but that's what you need to win. And when you have somebody that, all I'm saying is I saw Carson, and I hate giving Carson Wentz flowers. I do. I really do. But that year, that was an incredible year for him. I mean, that did show me why we picked him, even though it wasn't a stellar year and we didn't do anything. Being able to go to the playoffs and have those stats with no name wide receivers, and the only person you were throwing to at that time was Zach Ertz, like that's pretty incredible, dude. Never have I ever seen from DJ. Certain quarterbacks.
But Daniel Jones in his rookie season, when he threw for 24 touchdown passes, that's when he was just airing it out, throwing it downfield, whatever. And guys, I mean,
we're gonna get improved
through the 24
this year. That's it.
He threw the 24 touchdown. He threw the 24 touchdowns. You know what I mean? But then what was everybody saying? Look past the 24 touchdowns, which were, by the way, more touchdown passes than Kyler Murray threw that season, who was the number 1 overall draft pick at quarterback that year. I'm saying that everybody looks past that because of the turnovers, right? Okay, so now he starts cleaning up the turnovers, and maybe and the touchdown numbers come down. So now that's what the problem is. So it's like, it's like no win.
But the problem with the turnovers, what happened is he became conservative. He lost the dog in him. Okay, the reason you have turnovers is because you're holding on to the ball and things like that. He still has those tendencies. But what the Giants did was to have dump-off passes to the backs and running backs. This year, if you want to believe that you're going to use Darren Waller, you're going to have to open it up. So there's going to be chances for interceptions and fumbles. Will he be willing to pull the trigger is what we need to find out. Because we can sit here and tell him about mental processing and all this other crap. And what we say about Daniel is true. He does have slow processing time. That is a fact. Go watch the tape. That is a fact. However, what I think the problem mostly is will he pull the trigger? There was something I read where Daniel Jones was the most accurate quarterback and also the most inaccurate quarterback. So will he be able to pull the trigger? Last year, the Giants had 2.5 plays a game over 20 yards. He needs to be able to say, I don't care if Mac is running routes out there. I'm going to throw it up and give your receiver a chance, because that's what quarterbacks do. Good quarterbacks don't care if you're a janitor. They're still going to throw it up to you, and they're going to say, make a play. And you are going to have to do that. And if the quarterback's worth his weight in gold, he'll put it in a spot where you can get it.
Like, look at Big Ben, bro. He made a career off fucking interceptions, man. Look at Brett Favre. He made a career off interceptions, but they were also gunslingers. They didn't care about interceptions. They threw it up because they knew the best thing is, one way or another, it's either going to get incomplete or his team's coming down with it or the other guy is. But he took chance.
But that's exactly the point. His rookie season, when he was taking those chances, then that's what the knock was. All of a sudden, this guy he's a fucking turnover machine. He's this and that. So now it's like, so he doesn't do that anymore. And now the knock is he doesn't take it. I mean, it's like nothing you can say. It doesn't matter. The thing is about this kid is nothing anybody can say is going to seem to matter, because it's always going to just find a narrative. There's always going to be some narrative associated with Daniel Jones, one way or another.
Their franchise should have never made him scared to throw deep. And I don't know why they chose to do that. Listen, I understand things are going to happen. Things happen when Jalen Hurts throws deep, bro. He threw 6 interceptions last year. Like, things happen, and you got to overcome them. And I understand that, but you got to take the chances. If you don't take the chances, who knows what the fuck's going to happen? You know what I mean?
Here's another problem with that. When you say take the chances, how can you take chances when you're taking the snap and there's defensive ends in your face immediately, defensive tackles in your face immediately? That's also a reality of the Daniel Jones and New York Giants situation.
Something interesting about Josh Allen. He had horrible offensive lines, but he elevated them because he could move around the pocket. See, here's the thing. Okay, I don't think the narrative with Daniel Jones is excuses, because there's always going to be an excuse. Just like there's always going to be an excuse for Jalen Hurts. They don't want to see the greatness in Jalen Hurts because, we have A.J. Brown. It's always going to be like that because that's what the NFL does. What you want to see are the intangibles. Can he come back from 14 down like Eli Manning did? Can he put his team on his back in a situation that is not given? All right. The Eagle game, guess who was balling out in the Eagle game last year? Not me. Not me balling out. It was Saquon Barkley. Okay. He had a long run that got this team going. Okay. In the game. You know who didn't play well in that game, regardless of what you want to say? Is Daniel Jones. But we want to talk, but the media wants to talk about the Minnesota game. Minnesota had a nosebleed of a secondary. Anybody could have played there. You got to see what they do. Daniel Jones, while everybody can love him, it's time to step up. Big time defenses give him trouble. Let's see with what you're saying is if he can overcome with Darren Waller. Okay, if he's out there balling against the Dallas Cowboys, balling against Buffalo Bills, balling against Miami, and he's doing what he needs to do, and he's not being a pedestrian, then you'll have your answer. If he's out there and he's playing 150 yards a game and a touchdown here and a rushing touchdown there, and he's still playing average, well, then you have your answer. Because average quarterbacks look great against crappy defenses, but when great defenses play against them, they show their true colors. So that's what happened. Daniel Jones is not as bad as he was in the Eagle game, and he's not as good as he was in the Minnesota game. He's kind of just in between. Now, I look at Daniel Jones as an outsider. I look at him like Kyler Murray or a Ryan Tannehill. Those guys are still looking to be replaced on their teams. Okay, those guys haven't overcome many things in the playoffs and big games. They still have the same narratives. This is not me talking. Go look at their media. Go look what they're doing. Go look what they're doing over in Tennessee. They already drafted the heir apparent. They put a clause in the contract, who, by the way, Kyler Murray got paid. You look at Kyler Murray, remember, he had DeAndre Hopkins on his team. Okay, he only threw for 3,800 yards and 26 touchdowns with DeAndre Hopkins on his team. So it doesn't mean just because you get one player, all of a sudden you're going to exponentially be better. We all think Kyler Murray is average, right? But if Daniel Jones, and there's no knock on him, if Giant fans see Daniel Jones with Kyler Murray's numbers, they're going to say, oh my God, he's a top 10 quarterback. Is he really a top 10 quarterback? Or is he just average? Then average players look good when you have a good player on there. That's what we're talking about. I guess people get it misconstrued because they think what Adam thinks, because he's not here right now, is he thinks that Jones is just an average guy. That's all he thinks. He's just average. Maybe slightly above average if you want to really get to the nitty-gritty. But I still have 16 guys based on their resume who are better than Daniel Jones. A lot of people put their bias in front of it. Now, this year, I don't want to hear excuses. I don't care if Darren Waller walks out onto the practice field in game one and pulls a hamstring and is out for 6 weeks and the Giants struggle. I don't want to hear anything like that. Because if you're a good quarterback, you're going to elevate your play, and it's not going to matter. And to AK's point, the money is what is your answer. Guess who got drafted in the same position as Daniel Jones? Well, Justin Herbert. But Justin Herbert, he hasn't even won a playoff game yet he's getting the bag. And why is he getting $212 million guaranteed? I don't know, because they see the potential in him. Now, you could say he had these guys from whatnot, but a lot of his players were in and out of the lineup. Keenan Allen's in and out of the lineup. Mike Williams in and out of the lineup. He rose to the occasion. That's what they do. Great ones do. And I think what happens is, like, look at my quarterback, Troy Aikman. People don't appreciate how great Troy Aikman really was. You know, only the people that really watched him and understand could see what he did for our offense was what was needed, and he could play with anybody. But because we had Emmitt Smith in the backfield, we didn't need him to be the guy. But when we needed him to be the guy, he was the guy. That's what you're going to find out with Daniel this year. Can he be the guy? It's okay to be average, but let's see if you can be above average and take it to the next level.
Well, that's what I'm thinking he's going to show y'all. That's what I'm honestly, because like I said, this is now a situation where he's in his best situation going into a season than he has been his entire career. So if he doesn't, then yeah, shame on him. That's going to be that'll be his problem. And I think he is going to step up and show you guys what he can do. He's got the confidence of his teammates. I mean, the guys around him seem to love him, gravitate to him, say he's a great leader, all the good stuff, all the right things, and guys are not going to get in the media and bash him, obviously anyway, because he's their quarterback. But at the end of the day, I think this kid's going to prove that to y'all this year, that he's not just some piece of shit quarterback that, he's going to prove that he can step up because he's going to have some competent guys that he can rely on to help to make plays.
Let me ask you a couple questions real quick, and then we can close it out. Do you think Ryan Tannehill's a great quarterback?
I do not.
Do you think Ryan Tannehill's had a few good seasons with Tennessee?
He had a couple of good years, yeah.
Okay, so my question is, if Daniel Jones ends up being that type of quarterback, a guy who doesn't throw for a lot of yardage and a lot of touchdowns, what will be the difference in narrative? The difference in narrative to me will be he's in New York and he plays.
But Daniel Jones already adds an extra dimension to it that Ryan Tannehill doesn't have anyway, with his ability to run the football.
Fine, then we can say Kyler Murray, if you really want to say. Because Kyler Murray is the exact comparison as him. He hasn't had anybody really on his team, except for a couple guys. And even when he had DeAndre Hopkins, he didn't throw for more than 3,800 yards and 26 touchdowns. Now, that's low in my standard if you're talking about a number 1 pick or a number 6 pick. I look over at L.A., with the guy they gave the bag to, and that guy is his first season threw 5,000 yards. His next 2 seasons averaged over 4,500 yards. So there is difference in talent. And I just want to say that maybe Giant fans don't need to think of him as being an all-world quarterback and just accept the fact that he might be average, and that's okay. Average works for the Giants.
Well, we will see. Oh, we'll get all the answers to these questions coming up real soon, man. Thank everybody for tuning in. Andrew, appreciate you stopping in, brother. Philly halftime, most definitely. Coach Ed. Everybody else that stopped in, man, I really appreciate you guys. Miz. Who else was out there, man? Alex from Big Blue in the Bronx, man. Derby Entertainment definitely was holding down the chat earlier, man.
Seth,
much appreciation, fellas. But we will. Me and Adam, myself and Adam, man. Thank you, AK, for coming on, man. Really appreciate you. Love, respect your opinions, man. You got right now Philadelphia Eagle pride, man. Definitely wear it well, bro. Y'all right now, y'all the top of the mountain, and everybody got to try to catch up, man. So we'll see how that plays out, man. But as for me and Adam, you can catch us each and every Wednesday from this point forward, right here, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Real Deal NFC East Round-Up. Make sure y'all go and subscribe, hit that like button, and make sure y'all continue to tune in, man. Much appreciation, y'all, man. I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants Fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants Fan. That's MacDa Giants Fan.